I want to do it all. And the harsh reality is that unfortunately, a lot of times I can't. There were a lot of times when I was younger where I would push myself to do a lot more than I could manage, and I would be able to handle that. I would be able to survive. Would it push me to the point of burnout? Absolutely. But I would still do all the things because that's what I thought, in a way, I had to do. I thought that if I wasn't loading myself up, my day so jam packed that I couldn't think, then I wasn't being productive. I wasn't being useful. Now, at the age of 31, realizing that I actually do have neurodivergency, like I got officially diagnosed for ADHD. Other diagnoses are still on the way. And I also have really come to understand my body. There are a lot of autoimmune things going on, a lot of chronic pains that, as of right now, I'm still in the cycle of going to the doctor and basically begging and screaming for help and receiving nothing. But I can't push myself the way I used to. I found that now I have to slow down and go slower and do less, or I can't function. And not in the way that it took 6 months for me to burn out every time before, but in the way that if I push myself too hard for a few days, I feel the repercussions sometimes for weeks on end. And it's hard because I want to do the things. It's not ever, for the most part, that I don't want to do the things, unless, it's one of those tasks I'm avoiding. But that's irrelevant to this conversation. But the things I want to do, I want to write, I want to paint, I want to go exercise and go for a walk. I'd like to be able to walk 20 minutes up the lake to the lake, go swimming for half an hour, and walk back down. But I physically can't do that. And I hate it. I love to go sit in the sun. But if I'm sitting outside in the sun for more than 5 minutes, I start to react like I'm having a fever and I have the flu and I'm going to pass out or vomit or both at the same time simultaneously. And it just, honestly, it sucks. It really sucks. But I don't let it stop me because while I don't know my final direction, to a degree, I know what I want. I know I want to build a life that allows me to be creative, that allows me to work with these ups and downs. The weather here right now, it sucks. It's before 9 a.m., so I can still breathe outside, but the smoke from some of these wildfires, so bad. We literally had to duct tape all of our windows yesterday so that the smoke wasn't getting into our house. And that makes it really, really difficult for me to do anything because now my art studio is taped off because that room is just getting so smoky. And sure, I can paint in the other areas of my house, but when I'm already starting to not feel well because I'm getting headaches and my pains are even flaring up, it makes it really, really hard. And I guess I don't really maybe have a point for this video, but to help other people to not feel so alone. For me, as an entrepreneur, as a creative, on these days where I'm really struggling, I still try and find ways to move the needle. And sometimes that means giving myself a good rest because I know the thing that's going to help me tomorrow or the day after is having a good rest. Taking it easy for a day might mean that I actually can come back to my work, come back to my creations a little bit earlier. Something I also try to pay attention to are the things that actually move the needle for me, the things that move the needle in ways of making me feel better. Sometimes that's painting, sometimes that is a form of physical activity, but for a limited amount of time that my body can handle. And sometimes I try to move the needle for my business. Today is one of those examples. I woke up, headache, pain, a little bit of anxiety, but I'm here. Did I really want to be doing much today? No, but I'm on a video making streak, and I was like, I need to make a video. And this moves the needle. I can sit and talk in front of a camera for 5 or 10 minutes. And I know after doing that, I'm going to feel better because it's helping my business. You know, am I getting thousands of hits and monetized on YouTube? No. But I know taking this time to make these short videos that I like to think are helping people. Some of the feedback I've gotten says that it is. And they also help me. And I see the difference it makes when I'm consistent here versus when I'm not consistent here. I guess really being an entrepreneur, being neurodivergent, being chronically ill, whether you are in an undiagnosed built like me or you are diagnosed, it makes things hard. And we have to learn to work with ourselves. We have to learn to work with our bodies. We have to learn what our limits are and how to recognize it. I know for me, if I'm starting to get frazzled and anxious and I start saying sorry a lot, I know that's a sign that I'm feeling anxious and something in my body is not right. And I need to find a way to bring myself back to center. Sometimes I like to push that, but it's about finding the balance between it all. I know when I push myself too hard, I deal with the repercussions often for days on end. I know if I find that happy medium, I'm solid. I know if I'm doing a lot less work than I need to be doing mentally, like for my own sanity, I start getting like this anxious energy. And I swear I drive my partner insane because I'll just pace around the house making weird noises and, well, a lot of other random things. um, it's about finding that sweet spot and recognizing that that sweet spot for me isn't going to be the same on a day-to-day level. The amount of work I get done on a low energy day, sometimes it's just creating the short video, maybe making sure I have a reel posted on my socials and pushing myself to do 10 or 15 minutes of art, even if I don't want to. And I'll feel better for that. On a high capacity day, I might go write an article. I might sit there and record 4 videos, 2 of them while I'm making dinner. Because honestly, that's kind of fun. I like having things to do with my hands, in case you couldn't tell by how much I move them while I talk. So, really, I'll leave you with this. What is your balance? What is your sweet spot? Have you taken the time to figure out what it is that you need on those days that you don't have energy, even if it's just to like sit and couch rot all day? You know what I mean? Have you figured out what's that happy medium for you when you do have a lot more capacity? What can you do in a way that doesn't push you to the point of burnout so that the next day, it's easy to come back and do more work? Figuring out what that is and figuring out to, I guess, in a way, speak the language of your body, understand what it's trying to tell you based on what you need is a game changer. For me, the most important part about this business is that I build it in a way that works for me. I build it in a way that a traditional job was never ever able to support me. It is built around what my capacity is, with the ability to change and go up and down based on what I'm feeling, because as shitty as it is, I can't predict that. Sure, sometimes I know if I'm going to be pushing myself a little harder, I'm going to need a little bit more recovery time. But sometimes it just hits me out of nowhere. Sometimes the pain comes and I can't walk for days and I don't even know why. And I still have to find a way to function, to keep moving. You'll get there. It really just comes down to paying attention and practicing. If you have any tips, if you're struggling with things, please let me know in the comments. I would love to help and give advice in any way that I can. And I hope you will stick around and join me in the next video. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next one.